Hello guys, welcome back to another episode of my Backmarker career. Barcelona the site this time, and this is shaping up to be an interesting track. I'm a little scared right now because I think this is probably one of the tracks where the AI has one of the biggest advantages in terms of their better traction than user cars. So coming up on the finishing line here for our Q1 lap. Nothing to write home about really, but more than sufficient enough to get us into Q2, which was the main objective right here. Don't want to wear those tires out too much at this point in time. Q2 lap coming up, see if we can't qualify for the shootout. Really having trouble with the car. Not sure if it's the setup or the track or something totally different, but I always seem to struggle at Barcelona. I'm not really sure why, but so far this weekend this has been the case, both in training and in qualifying as well. We managed to improve our lap time by almost a second and a half there, but still nothing to write home about. We end up being eliminated. We're in 13th position, and we do not make it into the shootout. And like I said, I'm really having trouble with the car setup for this track. I'm not sure whether or not it's truly down to me having trouble setting the car up, or whether or not the track just hates me, but I always struggle here. Jumping ahead to race day, no surprise, Team Mercedes all over the front row. Nico Rosberg taking pole in front of Hamilton. We start in 13th, and Grosjean starts in 17th. And as always, if the main objective here will be to finish ahead of our teammate. And everybody's off, and we are a little bit slow getting out of the gate here. We're passed by that Sauber there of Sutil, and I believe it's Kobayashi coming up on the inside on us as well, so we've already dropped 2 positions. And I don't know what happened right there. I just sort of flinched and seemed to brake way too soon, and we end up coming into the first sweeping big right-hander here. We end up being in 21st position. We're bumping with Ricciardo there. I'm not really sure why he and Massa are starting on the back of the grid, whether or not they got a penalty of sorts, but both Ricciardo and Massa seem to be starting 21st and 22nd there. So anyway, we have a dive down the inside of some cars there. We're up to 15th now. Remember, we started out in 13th, beg your pardon, and we're just passing Grosjean here neck and neck, almost touching wheels, and through the chicane here, we're finally back up to 13th, but this was really the part where we had to gain some positions if we were to have a decent shot at getting some points in this game. If we could have taken some positions and drive a defensive race, I think we would have had a good chance, but right now we're playing catch-up in a not-so-great car. Also, there's a 34% chance of rain later on in the race, which is definitely not going to help us on this high traction track where the AI seems to have all the advantage in the long sweeping turns. Right on the bumper here of Kvyat on lap 1 coming up on the finishing line. Too bad we don't have DRS yet. We might have a chance to bounce him here on the straight. So up to 12th place. We gained 1 position from the start. I guess we can't be truly unhappy about that, considering how slow we got out of the gate and how bad we came into the first chicane there. Guess what it's all about right now? Oh, engine's running really hot there. Should probably use 8th gear more. I'm really struggling with this turn. I don't know what it is about it. I always seem to go wide and the AI just pulls away. Jumping ahead to lap 5, we got DRS now. We still got Kvyat right ahead of us, so we'll have the benefit right here. We'll see if we can't just squeeze on inside him. I don't know who's ahead of him right there, but somebody's really close. So we got 3 cars running very close right here, and there might be a chance of actually gaining a few positions here if we can get close enough to take advantage of the DRS, or maybe outbrake someone into the corner. Next lap on the main straight here, we got Massa coming up from behind like a bat out of hell, just blowing past us, and we lose another position there, so we're back in 13th now. Like I said, I don't really know what happened to Massa and Ricciardo other than they started really far back on the grid, and I do know for a fact that they actually did some pretty decent qualifying times there, so I'm not sure whether or not a penalty was involved. Coming up on lap 8, we finally have a chance to pass Kvyat here on the main straight. No problem there. Into the chicane. We're back into 12th place. We got Massa right ahead of us. probably not going to have any chance of catching him. But right now, it's all about keeping Kvyat behind us. And as you can see, there's a few raindrops falling right now, so it does appear that we're going to have some light rain coming up in the next 5 minutes or so. Coming up on lap 11 here, it seems that Massa has overtaken Hulkenberg, who's now in front of us. And we still have Kvyat about half a second behind, a struggle with him. And at this time, our engineer tells us to go to lean fuel. So keeping Kvyat behind us is going to be very difficult indeed. Track getting slippery due to the rain, but still not bad enough to go to intermediates. We skip ahead to lap 13, where the track conditions have gone bad enough for inters. We run very wide in this corner, and I think it's about time for an unscheduled pit stop due to the fact that these primes just don't have any grip anymore. And by the looks of it, Kvyat has decided to pit in as well. And there's actually a bit of a train of... Well, it looks like Roman is trying to pit in also at the same time. He's going to be held up by us. So too bad for Grosjean there. Yeah, he's going to have to wait. We go out right ahead of... I think... Did Kvyat bounce us there? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Just coming up behind us there. This is going to be a nice chicane on cold tires. I can also see that we're down from 22 cars to 21 now, so somebody's either crashed out or had a mechanical issue or something. I didn't really notice when exactly it happened, so I really don't have any idea who it might be. And as you can see, the track conditions are just getting much, much worse right now. There's water all over the place, pretty heavy rain at this point, and we end up cutting the corner. We don't even get a penalty, which probably means that we went through it so slowly that the judges, the officials have judged us not to have gained any advantage from it. So that kind of says it all. Still got Kvyat right behind us, putting a lot of pressure on us, but he's unable to pass us in the chicane right here. And as long as we can keep him behind us here in this turn, we should be able to, we should be fine in sector 2 as well. Actually, the grip on these intermediates is way better than I expected, but I still have a lot of understeer in the car. And I think that's down to my setup somehow, because that also happened both in qualifying and in training and in the race, in the dry. Still loads of understeer no matter what I seem to do, and really, really having problems with the traction as well. Jumping ahead another lap here. Track conditions still pretty poor, but we've actually managed to open up a bit of a gap on Kvyat there, as he's down about 2 seconds right now. So that's a good thing. We won't have to pressure ourselves so much going into the long sweeping turns and risking running wide there. Jumping to lap 27, the rain is kind of subsiding here. We still have Hulkenberg ahead by about 20 seconds and a gap of about 1 second, a second and a half to Kvyat behind us. And the track is still wet though, but I think it might be a question of maybe 3 or 4 laps before we can head into the pits and change these intermediates for some primes instead. And on lap 30, that's exactly what we're doing. And as you can see, there's a whole pack of cars coming in for new tires right behind us there. What is interesting, though, is I would like to see if any of those cars actually come out on new intermediates, because I think we might have gone in a lap or two too soon. We actually got held back there a little bit. That's a shame. We might have gone in a little bit too soon, but we did have a scheduled pit stop here at lap 31 either way, and our inters were starting to go, so we didn't really have the luxury of waiting. On lap 38, the racing line is pretty much dried up. We have Hulkenberg ahead of us right now. We have Alonso behind us. And whatever he's doing in 12th position, I don't know. But he must have had a problem of maybe spun off or something like that. And he's about 4 seconds behind us right now, and it's only a couple of laps ago he was about 12 seconds behind, so he is really moving. And you can see him right there in the mirror. He's going to have a push real soon. Yeah, and apparently Alonso is running full revs, trying to close the gap. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. You really inspire me with confidence. You really do. Coming through that sweeping right-hander out on the DRS straight here. He's going to come. He's just going to put the pedal to the metal and just blow by us. And we try and outbrake him, see if we can keep him behind us, but end up running wide in the process. And we're just going to have to concede that spot. Just losing the rear end there, coming through the chicane, and we got Ricardo coming up from behind as well. He's going to have a go. He's going to have DRS as well. Oh, apparently we have DRS too, so we might be able to keep him behind us down the straight here, but he's going to have a look down the inside, but had to back off. Well, apparently they gave him a penalty for that, so it doesn't really matter as we run wide in the right-hander here, and he just blows underneath us. Really been having trouble with that turn all weekend. As soon as I go on the throttle, I go wide, opening up a complete highway on the inside for people to pass me. And here on lap 45, we got Kvyat behind us. We have the exact same problem. Coming into the turn, just a little too hot, trying to recover, have to go off the throttle. And Route 66 is wide open. Just go ahead. Just trying to get the position back, having a look inside, but he closes us off. Actually make contact with the wheels there, have to back off. And in the meantime, we're down to 20 cars running now, so somebody else has retired. Jumping to lap 46, we have Bottas coming up to lap us from behind and going very wide in the right-hander here, trying to give him some space, but unfortunately he's unable to take advantage of that. So actually we ended up blocking, I believe it was Hamilton, and Bottas just slipped underneath him. I hope we don't get a penalty for that. And apparently it also means that Ricardo was able to close the gap on us because of the entanglement there, and he's going to have a go at us down the straight here. Try to squeeze him out just a little bit, but that Red Bull is just going right now. Still room for us though. See if we can't outbrake him and just squeeze into the chicane ahead of him, and we do that, but not surprisingly we come into the right-hander again too hot. There's a 6-lane freeway open on the inside, and bye-bye Mr. Ricardo. Coming up on lap 49, we're neck and neck with Grosjean here, coming into the slow left-hander. We just managed to outbrake him, and there is no way in hell I'm going to let Grosjean by. I'll take him out before that. Skipping ahead another couple of laps, we're coming up on lap 52 right here. Kobayashi is overtaking Grosjean behind us and is currently lying about 2 seconds back. There's a huge gap up to Kvyat at almost 23 seconds. There's no way in heck we're going to be catching him. So I guess right now it's about, oh, there's debris all over the place right there coming into the chicane. So somebody's crashed into something or someone. I'm not really sure what was going on. I didn't see any cars there. And apparently we have another guy coming in to lap us there. That looks like a Ferrari. I think it's Raikkonen. Yeah, it's Raikkonen. And we're down to 18 runners now. So whatever happened down there in the chicane cost somebody their race. I'm not sure what happened, but there was debris everywhere. And it must have been somebody lying ahead of us because we just jumped from 14th spot to 12th spot. So it was probably somebody lying in the points somewhere. And the tires are definitely starting to show some wear and tear here as well. So we've still got 12 laps to go. This could turn out to be pretty difficult. And we're about to be lapped again here, so we'll just take it real slow into the corner, let him go by on the outside. Oh, that's Hulkenberg. And who's that? Is that Bottas? Yeah, Bottas. So Hulkenberg is pretty far up in the race so far. That's interesting. It wasn't more than about 20 laps ago where we were actually about 10 seconds behind him. So that's interesting. Maybe he's had a different pit strategy or something like that, or maybe it's just us driving a really bad race like right there. And we just went from 18 cars to 17 now, but I don't think we gained a position by that happening, so it must have been somebody behind us, I would expect. But people seem to be dropping like flies here in these 100% races. I'm not sure whether or not it's down to the AI mod that I have installed. That does tend to make them a little bit more mistake prone, but I guess some of this could be down to mechanical failure as well, and we do end up advancing one place due to that car retiring, so apparently it was somebody in the points. As Hamilton wins the race, we're on our final lap here on lap 64, so we're going to finish the race 2 laps down, and we just left the highway wide open one more time, and Kobayashi slipped underneath us, but we're going to take that position right back. There is no way in hell I am losing to a Caterham car. So coming up on the finishing line, we finish 11th in this race. I guess you could take that as a positive. We were supposed to finish 12 or above, so I guess that is passed. But Barcelona is really not my track, and I really did not enjoy this race very much. It was a struggle from start to finish, and I never really felt like I got going properly. So I guess all things considered, 11th isn't all that bad. Lewis Hamilton takes this one ahead of Rosberg, and let's see, Ricciardo didn't finish, Vettel didn't finish, Button didn't finish, Bianchi didn't finish, and Byrne didn't finish. I'm wondering if Byrne has even finished a race so far this season, because I haven't seen him at all. I can't recall seeing him. At any rate, guys, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to leave a like, and I'll be back soon enough. Till then.